Hello, and welcome to Talkin Hearthstone, the podcast where, we talk about Hearthstone. I'm Tito Santana. This is episode 10. I like to insert the obligatory hello to Blister Guy right here. We made it to episode 10. Most podcasts don't make it that far. I don't know the exact numbers. I could have looked them up, but I've talked about them before other places. To make it to 10 means that you're actually committed to the bit for at least now. I plan on keeping this going. I've enjoyed it. I've liked having, as much as I love Bread and Butter, which is my other podcast. You should really listen to Bread and Butter Hearthstone. We have amazing guests. In fact, this week we had Donkey, and upcoming we have Tyler Knife and Dragon Rider. Going to be on this week coming up, and the week after we have two very special guests. You're not going to want to miss it. If you're not listening, we have the best part about the show is we have the most amazing guests on every week. So anyway. Plug aside, not a lot of podcasts. Episode 10. I enjoy it. I'm gonna keep going. Hopefully, it seems like we're starting to pick up a little bit of steam. So hopefully, we keep it moving. So let's talk about Perils in Paradise. It's been a week. What's today? Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. So it's been a week and a day since the Perils in Paradise was released. It's a fun set. It really is. Now, there's been a lot of discussion about the fact that it's not as impactful, right? There's been some calls to say that it's kind of like Raskin's Rumble in its impact. It's a fair comparison right now because right now you have three decks that are elemental decks, right? They're tribe decks and they all rely on a neutral card. You have a bunch of sets that aren't really using the cards that were printed. They are still playing a lot of old cards, maybe a couple new cards here or there. There's also 19 cards or whatever it is, so you have your set plus you have the other set with the tourist outside of the other person's tourist. So there's a lot more cards and there hasn't been a whole lot of new, right? Hydration Station, Lamplighter, Sandcastle, select places where these cards are being used. Now, I think it's too early to call it Raskin's Rumble, and here's why. We have an entirely different design and development philosophy and cadence of nerfs and buffs. Back when Raskin's Rumble was released, we weren't nerfing as much as we did, and we definitely were not buffing at all. Like that, I don't think happened at all. So, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. So, given the fact that we have what I think is a very interesting design set that's a bit undertuned, I think it's just going to take a little bit of time for them to tune it back up and make some adjustments here or there. That being said, right now, nothing feels overbearing or out of control. Like, I don't feel like, I keep seeing Druid, even though you see a little bit of Druid. It's not the best deck, but it's still really, really good, especially at high levels of play. You're still seeing Zilliax, Killiax. We'll talk about that in a second. You're seeing a wide variety of things, and I don't feel oppressed. I feel like I'm having fun. I feel like I'm in every game, even against those decks. I've been playing lately a Paladin, a hand buff Paladin. So I waited. I played all week, and I did not play hand buff Paladin. And I just started playing it because I knew once I started playing hand buff Paladin, I was going to start playing it a lot. It's just such a fun deck for me. I don't know why, but it just kind of really hits me in the right spot. So we've been playing that, but everything's good. I've been playing the Excavate version. Thank you, World 8. The Excavate version has Finley. And if you can get that Finley down in time before any of their Zilliax dies, then that's less. Then they can't bring Zilliax back with the transformation will make it so they can't use Hydration Station, they can't use Inventor Boom, they can't use anything to bring it back. So you want to try to get that down, have Finley, and especially in those matchups, and get it online as soon as you can, because if you can get rid of those Zilliaxes, that game goes a lot better for you. So overall, I think that the meta's in a good spot. I do want to see them tune things up. Last week, I was saying, and pretty much most of the week, I've wanted to see Killiax nerfed, and I still do. However, if they came out and said, we're not changing anything, or we're only doing buffs right now, or whatnot, I would actually have no complaints if all they said was we're going to try to raise the power level of some of these other sets like Hunter, or even some of the cards that are not being played in at all from some of these classes, to just give them a little power. And maybe even if a class is good, if they increase the power level of some of the other cards that don't fit in current archetypes, I think that could be good as well, because that will then hopefully encourage a bit more diversity. And the set's already diverse. I love the concept of tourists. I think that I think they were very cautious, and I think that they will over time raise up the power level. So I do not think this is Rastikan's Rumble. Maybe this first week, sure, but when we get to the end of it, I think we're going to be talking and playing a lot more of the new cards than we were in Rastikan's. So last week we were waiting for a promised update from Hearthstone about why there was no new song or why there was no new board. And of course, I believe they released it on Friday. It came out on 7/26, and it was from executive producer Nathan Lyons-Smith. Now, the high points are that they're talking about the future of the game. And they said they're hoping to be around 10 years. They have a bunch of stuff coming. Their messaging was a lot of the things that were coming, and their ideas. They were pretty vague about a lot of things, and they were the opposite of Blizzard TM soon. This stuff's well away, and that's fine, and I like that. But I want to read one particular paragraph from it that addresses the board issue. It says, "We are still planning to release one new board per year, but we also have some ambitious ideas that we know will be significant undertaking. Pulling back from 3 static game boards per year to allow us to begin work on the coolest possible dynamic stuff, like a system to choose your favorite boards and pets. We also heard so much positive feedback to Seathune, so we are working on some truly groundbreaking new hero skins. It's, in all capital letters, too soon," that's a play on Ragnaros and Majordomo, "to go into more detail about what's coming, but we will fast-track putting all existing Hearthstone boards into the standard format board rotation." So, cool, right? So they gave, we're getting to play whatever boards we want, or we're getting a lot more boards. That's pretty cool. Get to click on the boots again. And the fact that they're working on some dynamic stuff is cool. Now, some of the negative feedback on this particular issue is, they're trying to monetize us more because now we're going to probably have to buy pets and whatnot. I never understood, I understand when you feel like you're getting nickel and dime, but Hearthstone is a business, and their job is to make money. And it's not the devs on the team that are directing this. So everyone that you talk to online, on Twitter and whatnot, they're just doing what they're told for the most part to make the things that they're being asked to make. I have no problem with, especially cosmetic things, that, hey, you want to buy this? It's $20. I think some of their things have been overpriced. I think a lot of those things have been overpriced, but in that particular case, I can choose to not pay anything. I can vote with my wallet, and I think that you saw some. I think if the more you do that, the more they'll react to these kind of things. So I'm excited. If I like pets, I'll buy pets. If I'm not, I won't. I'm sure we'll earn some in events and everything like that. So I'm perfectly okay with kind of an approach like this, and I want them to continue to make money because I want the game to continue to thrive and make interesting sets, and hopefully we have more hiring so that the current dev team isn't worked as hard as they are, and gives them more time to be more creative and actually, enjoy what they're doing. I'm sure they do enjoy what they're doing, but I also know that, it hasn't always been great, especially when they've had some layoffs and when they have messaging that hasn't gone over well, like the quest changes that they made. And I want to bring that up too, talking about this. If they had said a month ago, hey, there's going to be no board, there's going to be no song, we are planning on doing some different things like a dynamic board, we're adding pets, it's not going to be out yet, but it means that we have to divert resources from making a board every expansion to every year. And if they would have told us this a month ago, people would still be people are going to be angry no matter what. You know that. There's always going to be people out there that are like, oh, well, we're not getting a board now, blah, blah. But you manage it better, I think. And I am not a community manager, but they have community managers. And I really wish that whether or not the community, they're going to listen to the community managers or the development team about, hey, this is what we want to do. They might not care for feedback on what they're doing. But what I wish they would do is they would run by the things they are doing by community ahead of time and say, hey, we're going to be removing game boards. How do you think the community is going to react to that? And then the community team would be able to say, hey, okay, well, I think that we should tell them as early as possible, and we should highlight the things that we're going to be replacing it with, like the pets and the dynamic game boards, and give them and if you can get ahead of these things, you don't have to be apologizing and backtracking and trying to smooth things over, and you make it a lot easier for the community team to handle the people that are going to be angry on the internet. I mean, there's still going to be people, like I said, angry, but if you make it easier, then, you know, it's just better for everybody. And if you want to get people excited for things, like the changes where we ended up on quests are great. They're a lot easier, better to have play 10 games and win 10 games and whatnot. But for that, like 2 weeks or that 3 weeks, while they went from, oh, by the way, now you have to summon 60 minis versus where it is now, it was not good on the community. It was not good on the community team. It was not good on anybody. So I think that whatever changes they make or whatever direction they're going to, I just think they need to work on their messaging. And it boggles my mind that after 10 years of this game that they still haven't figured out some of the messaging. And I hope that they start learning and really kind of embrace, like, hey, let's be better about communicating these things, even if they're communicating things we're not going to be happy about. Don't let us find out and then communicate first. And I think that'll go a long way. All right. So today is the last day of the month. I started out this push in Legend. I was at about, I think I came in at 1407 or 1432, somewhere around 1,400. And in the first couple days, I even got my Legend number down to triple digits, and I was very excited. And I played well all month. So I was feeling like, hey, maybe there's an outside chance that I hit 11 stars. Now, 11 stars is an interesting thing, right? Like, I think we all want to hit 11 stars. But the advice that I have gotten, and I will give to you, dear listener, is you don't want to just get 11 stars. It's fun. I hit it once. It was great. People say, oh, 11 stars not all cracked up to be. And I call horse poop on that because it was beautiful. It was amazing. It was an easiest climb I've ever had. It was fun. I felt good and I want it again. But I don't want to get 11 stars. I want to be an 11-star player. I want to be somebody that, for the most part, you know, I'm not even worried about it because whether I get 10, 11 stars is just the fact that I'm playing at that high level and I am at that. I'm not there yet. And so I think before the expansion, I fell down to about 3,000 3,000 ladder points. I don't know what you would call it. Like, just that was my rank. And then the expansion came out and I tried to embrace the fact that my rank is going to suffer. We've talked about this too, I think, a lot in Bread and Butter. But I want to play the new things. I want to be silly. I want to try, experiment. But at the same point, I also have been working so hard on trying to improve my play that I don't like seeing my number drop. So I did drop all the way down to about 11,000, which wasn't good. It was past. I was like 11,572 or something like that. And I felt, you know, I kind of resigned myself. I'm like, all right, it's expansion month, whatever. And I was trying to make Black Rock, Roll, Rye, Reno, Warrior work, and trying to make Rogue work, Mech Rogue work with the Amalgam, so maybe you could get some, you know, real strong things coming back. And then I said, you know what, we're going to start playing good decks again, because especially with THL season starting back up, I got to start playing good decks, and I also want to prove things. So I went from that 11,000, and I got to about I capped out at about 2,600 or so last night. I think right now I'm at like 3,100. So with the amount of people in Legend right now, I think the cutoff is going to be about 2,200 or so for the star bonus, for the 11 star bonus. So I'm going to make a push for it tonight, and it's as the last night of the month, and see if we can get there. If we can, we can. We can't, we can't. But I definitely feel that in the last 2 days, a swing of 8,000 or so points on the ladder, it kind of reminded me, hey, I am actually decent at this game, and I know what I'm doing. So we played our first THL. I have two THL matches. I'm on duos, and I'm on the Pro League, and with duos with Pilot. And today we played Chewy and Lenny, and we lost 3-1. We played Elemental Mage, which is a deck we're highlighting, but I'm highlighting a different deck today than the one that Pilot and I played. The one that Pilot and I played, I think, was the one that is that was championed by Housewife. I could be wrong, but it's a good deck. The issues we had were we had one point where we weren't able to keep our elemental chain going. We had some really bad draw, and we lost to, I believe, the Druid, and they played a Death Knight that kind of just got over us. So it was fun. It's a lot of fun because we get to discuss things, and we have difference of opinion. Obviously, hey, you should do this, but I like the format. It's a lot of fun. I hope to stream some of it sometime, so I'll let you know if I can actually tell you about that. I'm actually in Pro League, which is basically it's Conquest. You bring 4, ban 1. I'm playing Yagatari this week, and I will be streaming that tomorrow night. So that'd be Thursday, August 1st at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to come see me attempt to get my first win this year, it's fun. I enjoy it. So overall, though, it's been a good few months. I am going to probably break my streak of improving every month on my rank. I believe I went from, maybe not. I don't know exactly where I ended, but for the last 3 months, I have improved my final ladder standing, and I'm hoping to continue to that. But we'll try tonight. We'll have fun. We'll see how it goes. So I think it's time to talk about our deck this week. And our deck this week is going to be Elemental Mage. And like I said, this is different. This is all minions. There's no spells except for Synthesize. And I like it because it is just, it's very tribal. It's very powerful in the way that you can get on board early. There's not a lot of late game comeback, but if you can get enough chip damage early, then you might be able to just go over the top. Some of the key cards, Lamplighter is obviously a key card in here. You want to be able to, just build up those charges and go over the top. Saloon Brewmaster, I have one Saloon Brewmaster in here, which is nice because it gives you kind of an extra, Lamplighter a lot of times. Tainted Remnant is nice because it's just, 7 damage for 5 mana. Good body, really good. Can really turn early games, especially if you can get it off of the you can play it after Aqua, yeah. English is hard. Aqua Archivist, which is a 2 mana, I believe 2/2 elemental that makes your next elemental cost 2 less. So you play that, and then you can play Tainted Revenant on 3. This particular list is not probably optimized. Like, I think that I'm missing the legendary that splits an elemental in 2, which could be really strong in this list. But I definitely shied away from the list that had a bit more spells and a bit more other things that weren't elementals, just because I think it's I just wanted to keep it simple. The other thing you can do early on is you have Overflow Surger, which for every turn you have played an elemental, it summons a copy of Overflow Surger, so you can get some really good early quick boards. And I think that's enough talking about the deck. Let's go ahead and take a look at a game. All right, so let's take a look at this game. You'll have to excuse the Paladin icon here on the screen. I was playing Paladin earlier on in the night, and I forgot to take it down. I didn't forget to take it down. I did, but I didn't mean to queue in a mage, but we queued in a mage anyway.
Ready to get scorched?
So we have a Sleet Skater, a Flame Reverent, and 2 Unchained Gladiators. Now, I think the only thing we want to keep here is Flame Reverent. We want to start getting our Elemental Chain going right away, and a 5 mana card, a 2 4-mana cards isn't really what we're looking for. But the Flame Reverent's a really strong card early on, so we're going to keep that, I believe, is what we do. We're facing a Rogue. And you're going to have to bear with me. I don't remember the names and the effects and the attacks and defense of all these cards yet. A lot of them are new, or a lot of them I haven't really played, so I may kind of stumble over that a little bit, but we'll do our best. So we pick up a Lamplighter and 2 Rolling Stones. Lamplighter is good to have in hand, so it's got some flexibility, although we want to use it as kind of our Pyroblast at the end. And the Rolling Stones are 2 mana 2/2 Rush, Battlecry. If the card you last played costs 1, this gains +1/+1. So the Rogue passes their turn, and we pick up Triple Wick. This is a hard one to say. Triple Wick Trickster, which is a 4 mana 2/3 Battlecry. Deal 2 damage to a random enemy 3 times. It's a good card, but it's not really helpful right now. So we are forced to coin something out. We are going to coin out a Flame Reverent. I say force is a hard thing to say, but we really need to get our Elemental Chain going. That's really the strength of our deck. So we get the Flame Reverent out. They are playing a quick pick, and they attack into the Flame Reverent. So they're at 28 health, and it is our turn. So we picked up an Unchained Guardian, which is Battlecry, draw a card, repeat for each element you played last turn. And this is a 4 mana 4/4. So that's not really helpful this turn. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a Rolling Stone. We get the same effect as we would because we have the Flame Reverent. So it's a 3/3, and we swing at the face. So they're at 26 health. We're at full health. We have a 2/2 and a 3/3 on board. They play Dig for Treasure, which is draw a card. If it's a pirate, gain a coin. I don't think they gained a coin. So they play a Rolling Stone themselves. They clear my Flame Reverent, and they attack face with a quick pick. So we drew Synthesize, which is actually good for us because we can play the 1 mana Synthesize, and then even if we don't have anything we want to play right away from that, we can then play the Rolling Stone for +1/+1. And I think that's what we do here. That's what I would do anyway. And we picked up a Firefly. We picked up the Elemental, the 2 mana 2/2 Elemental that heals at the end of your turn. And we picked up the I'm not sure which that one is. Apologies. I'll look at it in a minute. Overflow Surger is what we picked up, which is a 3 mana. Oh, never mind. That's not the Overflow Surger. I forget the name of that one. But it's the Shaman one that it costs less. It gains stats or whatever if you don't have Overload. So they prepped out a Dubious Purchase, which is draw 3 cards, combo destroy a random enemy minion. So that will kill my Rolling Stone. And they play a Tar Slime. So they are clearly playing Lamplighter, and they play a Firefly. I mean, it was clear when they played the Rolling Stone, but so we pick up Tainted Remnant, which is a 5 mana 7/4 Battlecry. If you played an Elemental last turn, deal 7 damage randomly split amongst all enemies. This is a really solid turn 5 turn. But we're on turn 4, so we're not there yet. So we play out the Triple Wick Trickster, which deals 4 damage to their face and 2 damage to their Firefly, leaving their tar slime untouched. They play Sweetened Snow Flurry, which is a 3 mana 3/3 miniaturize, get 2 random frost spells that disappear at the end of the turn. They have 2 mana left. And they Soul Freeze, which is freeze a random minion and its neighbors, deal damage to your hero equal to the number frozen, to my Trickster. And they play Dig for Treasure, draw a minion, If it's a pirate, gain a coin. They did not gain a thing. So we also now just picked up the 2 damage spell that gives us an elemental. So we have Minecart Cruiser, which we picked up in the when we generated the elementals, and this is a 3 mana 4/5 rush overload 2 battle cry. If you played an elemental last turn, don't overload. So this goes right into the tar elemental, and then we play Hidden Gem, which was the elemental that heals, and we pass our turn. So now we are at full health. We have a board of a 2/3, a 4/5, and a 2/2 stealth with heal. They're at 18 health, and they have a 3/3 on board. So we're feeling pretty good right now. We have a nice board. I don't think they've progressed enough to really be strong with their Lamplighter yet, because even if they can play it and bounce it and play it and bounce it, it's not going to get anywhere yet. So they play a Sandbox Scoundrel, which I think they're doing more to get the mini in their hand than anything. And then they play the Miniaturize. They play the Sweet and Snow Flurry, which gives them 2 spells. This is not the Miniaturize. This is a second Sweet and Snow Flurry. So they have 2 Miniaturized ones in their hand as well.
Now this is
And they play their next Sandbox Scoundrel, the mini one. They run into my 4/5 with what did they run into it with? With their other their Sweet and Snow Flurry, and then they played Frost Strike, which they generated off the Snow Flurry, and they kill the Overflow Surger, and now they're picking a card. They're really thinking about it. Again, I do apologize that I'm having a hard time remembering some of the card names, but I haven't played a ton of this deck yet. I need to write them down and have them on another screen. Oh, we're learning. We'll figure that out. We'll get there. They Shadow Step. Okay, they Shadow Step the mini Sandbox Scoundrel. So we have an Unchained Gladiator, which is 4 mana 4/4. Draw a card for each elemental you played last turn. We are looking at our Lamplighter. So we have 2 for... I don't think we have enough damage to kill them this turn. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think we're going to play our Tainted Remnant, which we do. It's a 7 mana. It's a 5 mana 7/4. Deals 7 damage to all enemies if I played an elemental last turn. That clears everything but the Sandbox Scoundrel, which is a 4/1. We go face with everything, and then we Flame Geyser, which is the spell I forgot the name of. Oh, do we? I think we do. I think we just ship that face, which we do. Okay. And they are now at 10 health. We are at full health. They have a 4/1 on board. We have a 2/3, a 2/2 that heals, no longer stealth, and a 7/4. They play Shale Spider, and I think we are licking our lips here because we feel like we won the game. Shale Spider draws a card if you played an elemental last turn. It's a 3 mana. It's a 2 mana 3/2. They Glacial Freeze our 2/3. They Sweet and Snow Flurry the mini again. And they play a Hunter Secret. And they rush the Sandbox Scoundrel into my 7/4 and play a Flame Elemental. They did not play Remorseless Winter, which was generated. Alright, so right now we are at 30 health. They're at 10. They have a Secret up, and they have a 1/1, a 1/2, a 3/2, and a 2/1. I have a 2/3, a 2/2, and a 2/1. I think I'm just planning on killing them. So we're going to Glacial Freeze something. The Shale Spider. We send Hidden Gem face. And then we're just going to Lamplighter them for 9 damage. Or 8 damage. And you can see kind of the power of the deck here. It's very linear. It's not rocket science, but there are some decisions to be made. And it's a fun deck. I think you'll enjoy it if you get a chance to play it. And the nice thing about the deck is my version of the deck is there's no legendaries. And I don't know where I got this version of it from, but having no legendaries means that if you're playing on a free-to-play account or you're playing on an alternate server that you don't want to spend money on or whatnot, this is a good deck, a good budget deck that will be easy to craft, easy to play, and is actually tier 1, tier 2. So I recommend this deck highly if any of those things matter to you. I wouldn't be surprised to see this week in Hearthstone Jay to be highlighting it in some of his budget decks guides. You can follow me on Twitter and Twitch and now TikTok at Tito Santana HS. I'm going to give a special shout out this week to Just the Guy 66, who put out a video of a song he did, a parody song for the new expansion. I get to yell at him because just 2 days earlier, I told him I'm working on a song, and I am, but I am not as quick to market as he is. So he stole my idea, which is fine. I've stolen his ideas before. It's kind of what we do. In all honesty, like obviously, I'm not really angry or anything. He's my boy. I love him, and you guys should definitely go check out his content. I'm gonna put links to a link to the video in the show notes, and make sure you tell him that you really like what he did, and like and subscribe and all that. And yeah, as far as what I'm working on, best ideas, I have a good idea, or have an idea that I think is a good idea. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take some effort. I'm hoping to put some time in next week on it while my family is on vacation, and we'll see how it comes out. See if I can actually put something together. I can't sing. I can't rap. I'm going to try to do both. I have a plan. We'll see how it goes. I'm already halfway through the planning stages. I got a lot work done. I don't know if it'll be any good. I hope so. It won't be Blister Guy quality. Probably won't be Just a Guy quality, but if it's fun, right? So anyway, guys and gals, I think I'm done talking. Have a great day.